So today we're going to go through the different types of transmitters available. Mainly we're going to be talking about 2.4 gigahertz transmitters, not the old 27 megahertz. So in today's video I want to try and clear up a bit of the confusion about what can be used with which cars. I'm going to start off with the Asf transmitters, and I will start with the beloved KT18, this one here. A lot of you will have this if you've had older Mini Zs, or if you've got a VE Pro, whether it's a all-wheel drive VE Pro or a rear-wheel drive VE Pro. So this transmitter was the first 2.4 gigahertz one they did. And for this car here, which is a Asf MR02, I'm not going to take all the cars out of the shells every time, but I'm just going to show you in case you don't know what that means. Asf refers to the frequency, and it usually says on your car which frequency it is, okay? So these are transmitters that were available with these cars, Asf, whether it was rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, as an upgrade to this, you could use one of the transmitters that KYOSho provides. There we go, sorry, focus there, which is a hop-up, and currently that's the EX6R. So that's an Asf transmitter, but also fHss. This transmitter, I've got the EX6 as well, is the newer version, which is far superior if you ask me. I will go through why you'd want to use this transmitter in a moment, but I just want to show which cars work with that. So primarily, I've got this VE Pro, which is an all-wheel drive car with a brushless motor, and this is compatible with the KT18. More importantly, it performs much better with this transmitter. All the Asf cars perform much better with the EX6R. It's absolutely amazing. The response, the way it handles, it transforms the car. So for me, using this transmitter with this car, I don't really like to do that. I find that the EX6R is far better. So if you've got these kinds of cars, then an EX6R is a good transmitter. Additionally, it can also be used with a Mini Z Evo. So that's the Evo all-wheel drive, or the Evo rear-wheel drive, the MR or the MA. So I'm going to plonk that next to the EX6. I'm going to put these cars here. So that's a group of cars you can use with that transmitter. Ultimately, they don't make Asf cars anymore really, unless you get the Mini Z Evos, which you can get an Asf chip for, MHS sorry, and Asf, it does both. So really this is an older system, but it works very well. So moving on to the next generation after that, let me just move this out of the way, we're running out of space already. You've got the KT19. Now this was actually a step down, I think a lot of people thought, from the KT18. With the KT18 you could still adjust endpoints and throttle endpoints, steering endpoints, and reverse the channel very easily on that. On the KT19 you could not adjust endpoints. So yes, there was dual rate options, but not to actually individually change left and right steering, forward and back. So it was a step down, a bit more plasticky. And this typically came with your MR03 and your MA020. So these are non-brushless regular Mini Zs. This is what you would get now, but instead you get this transmitter, which is the KT531P. Again, this is pretty plasticky and less feature filled than the original KT18. So this is the replacement, which you now get with the current range of MA020 Sports and the the MR03. If I keep saying that, please correct me. It's the rear-wheel drive Mini Z. You now get this transmitter, which you also get with the Mini Z 4x4 crawlers, and that comes standard with that car. So in this particular instance, if you wanted to upgrade your transmitter, you'd go for the KYOSho Synchro Touch. Now this transmitter is a touchscreen, which I've got fingerprints all over, despite trying to keep it clean. And you've seen me using this before when I did the beast mode video about the MA020. So with this transmitter now, you can operate these cars, the current range of Mini Zs. So that will count for the fHss and fHss frequencies. Again, if I get that wrong, I'll try and put something up afterwards to correct that. And additionally, you can use the Mini Z rear-wheel drive MR03 Evo, and also you can use the MO030 Evo. So that transmitter will cover you for those cars and an Evo, but you can't use it with any of these. It won't work with the Asf cars, MHS cars. So your VE Pro all-wheel drive, which is in a fantastic car, you cannot use the current Synchro Touch, which is the touchscreen KYOSHO transmitter. Again, using this transmitter, you've seen in previous videos, I won't go into the features of it individually now. It will enhance the features of any car you use it with. So if you use it with a rear-wheel drive Mini Z, all-wheel drive Mini Z, or the Crawler, instantly you'll get more steering range, more control, far, far superior in terms of controlling the car, way better than the transmitter they come with, whichever generation that is. And also you can use that with the Evos, and again that transforms those. Then if you use this transmitter, the chip that's compatible with the Evo and the Synchro Touch is the same chip that you can use with the KT531. Obviously you know which one's going to be better there. So finally we come to the NB4. Now the NB4 is all on its lonesome here because the only cars of the Mini Z range you can use with it are the Evos. So you can use the rear-wheel drive Evo and the all-wheel drive Evo, but that's the only cars you can use with it. Why am I using the boxes today? It's just easier because I keep getting the name wrong with all these Mini Z names, and visually you can see that's a MA030 Evo. If I put the cars down next to each other, it gets confusing even for me. But you can see the thing these three transmitters have in common is you can use the Evo with all three. Apart from that, they all have separate uses. So if you are someone who's got a Mini Z VE Pro, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, you're going to want a good transmitter to drive it. The KT18, as much as I like it, it is a good transmitter. I've had my troubles with it in the past, but that was just an older transmitter. The EX6R is far superior in terms of controllability, response time, settings, everything. It just transforms the car. So if you've got that range of car, then maybe it's worthwhile you getting the chip that will make that use with the Evo, make use of it with the Evo. And then if you've got all the ASF cars, or if you buy some used ones off eBay, you've got one transmitter that's going to control them all. If you're somebody that's got an MA020, MR03, a Crawler, then obviously the Synchro Touch is probably going to be the better transmitter because that will enhance your experience and you can use it with a brushless Evo. I think you've seen my previous videos of what I think of the NB4. I love the transmitter and I use it with my other cars. So for me, that is my choice with the Evo. Obviously, I've got all of them, but I love that transmitter the most for its usability and interface. One thing I will say is that the EX6R, previously I moaned about the interface when I first got it about a year ago. Now I think it's amazing and I don't have any issue with it. Okay, it's not a touch screen. I still prefer the rechargeable batteries that are built, LiPos that are built into this transmitter. But with the EX6R, I've grown to love it and it does feel brilliant with the Mini Zs. Ultimately, it's been designed by KYOSHO for KYOSHO cars, so bear that in mind. So really that is a summary of all the transmitters that I'm using at the moment and what are available. For me, when I'm using a regular MA020, I never use the standard transmitter. I always use a Synchro Touch because it transforms the car. If I'm using my Evo to race, I'll either use the NB4 or I'll use the EX6R depending on who's using which transmitter on race day. For example, if I'm lending someone a car, then if I've lent them the EX6R, I'll use the NB4. If I'm going to use a VE Pro, absolutely no doubt that's the transmitter I'm going to use. If I'm using this rear-wheel drive MR02 ASF Ferrari, it's going to be the EX6 I'm going to use. I hope that helps, guys. It's very confusing with Mini Z transmitters. It doesn't help that KYOSHO kind of doesn't make them backward compatible. So it'd be great if this transmitter could run all of these cars and then you wouldn't have anything to think about when you were buying a transmitter. You'd buy the touchscreen because you know it's going to be compatible with all those. But that's not the case. So remember this, three main things to remember here. You've got ASF MHS, which is what these are. You've got your fHss, which is what these cars are. And then you've got your NB4, which is AFDS3, and that's a completely different ball game. Yes, you can use this with other cars with different receivers, and it's brilliant. But if you're a Mini Z fanatic and you want to choose a transmitter, that's what your decision will be based on. How many cars have you got? Which car do you want to use for what? If you're going to be racing VE Pros, then it's going to be an EX6R is your default choice. Think about what you want to get out of the transmitter. If you want transmitter to control all your cars, base it on that judgment call. So here we've got the Synchro Touch. It controls 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. So it's a good buy, if you've got those cars. There's no point getting an NB4 when you can use one of these to control your Evo and these 3 cars. Same over here. No point getting an NB4 to control, to control your Evo if you've got ASF cars or MHS cars. I hope that helps, guys. So I've not gone into the functionality of each transmitter. I will be doing a proper review on the EX6R and comparing these 3 transmitters with the Evo on its own. But I wanted to do this video just as a kind of an informative, quick snapshot into which car, which transmitter, and I hope it clears things up. Thanks, guys, and if you like the video, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel. Every sub helps. I appreciate all the support the channel is getting. We are growing fantastically. Lots of exciting things coming along. I will be trying to do more videos. I'm going to try to break the videos up so that we do one a week. Maybe one on drifting, one on all-wheel drive drifting, one on rear-wheel drive drifting. Maybe do one which is just about budget cars. A big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel and all those who have got in touch with me via Instagram or Facebook to do custom builds. I'm inundated and it's keeping me busy. I'm hoping to have the website live soon. I will drop a video when the website is ready, going through the features of the website and letting everyone know that it's live. The next video I'll be recording will be my build of the 94mm GLA drift spec car, which I will be doing as a build video and as a review of the GLA as a proper drift car. I'll be hopefully installing a one-way front diff and locking the rear diff and giving you a true experience of what a GLA can do as a drift car. So if you want to see that, make sure you've hit the subscription button and the notification bell, and I'll see you guys all next time.